And a very good Monday evening. Welcome into Time Out here on TVNB. Some of the topics we'll be talking about in the next 30 minutes. The Leafs and their fans bid farewell to MLG. St. John Flames of losing ways continue. And KV Minor Hockey invades our studio this week. So we hope you stick around and join us. Good Monday evening. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you stick around for the next 30 minutes. We got a great show lined up for you, and we got a studio full of guests as well. So we'll start on this side. Jamie Roberts. Hi, Jamie. How are you?
Good.
Good. Colin's over here next to you. Colin Cusack. How you doing, Colin?
Pretty good.
Good. And that's your dad, Mark.
Hi.
And, of course, our old faithful, Bruce McDonald. Nice to have you all in here. And I guess we'll start off with you guys can tell us where you play some hockey. Jamie, we'll start with you.
We play at KV, Grand Bay, Bellier rink, Simon's rink.
And you guys play for the KV Kings of KV Minor Hockey, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how you doing so far this year, Colin?
We're doing pretty good. We've only lost 4 games all year.
And you played 20 so far?
Yep.
Geez, you guys got a better record than the Flames. You're doing all right.
Oh, yeah.
Mark, thanks for coming in. Appreciate your time. I guess the first thing we'll talk about is how did you get started coaching minor hockey?
Well, like a lot of parents, I started when Colin started into the ranks back in initiation, then into novice. I've just got 3 years in coaching. But I started coaching because I went to the rink every morning with Colin, and they needed a hand.
Sure.
So I got into it.
So the early mornings you're up anyway, you figure you might as well be behind the bench.
Sure. I enjoy it.
Exactly. You guys got a great record so far this year, 16-4. You guys looking to go all the way this year? Or?
Yeah, we're in our first round of playoffs, as a matter of fact. 1 game left tomorrow night. And we're looking real good. We're probably in the top 2 of that.
Right on.
The top team obviously gets a bye into the second round, so we're hoping we're there.
Fantastic. Wish you all the best. Where do you play? What's your position?
Right wing.
You play right wing? Where do you play, Colin?
Right defense.
Right defense? So you guys are going to win, right?
Yeah.
So when you guys win the title, you'll bring the trophy back in the studio?
Yeah.
We can show it off for a while?
Sure.
Is that okay? All right. Let's talk about a few other things. Let's talk about the St. John Flames, of course, and not much to talk about that we haven't talked about over the past couple of weeks. These boys are struggling, and they're struggling bad. Over the weekend, let's rattle off the numbers here. They lose 7-2 to the Leafs here at Harbor Station on Thursday night. Roll into Kentucky on Friday night. They get hammered 4-1. Last night, or Saturday night, I should say, they play in Cincinnati. They had the lead going into the third period. They blow that. They lose 5-3. So it's now 7 games without a win. Bruce, how does this team get better? What do they have to do?
Well, I hate to say it, but like we talked about last week, they need help in defense big time. Thursday night, David Cooper went -5 again.
And he's collectively minus 33 on the season. We should add that in.
Yeah, but he wasn't the only man on Thursday night. I think St. Louis and Healy were both -5 as well as forwards, which is unbelievable to hear. But
certainly is.
Then, of course, it looked like on Saturday night they were going to pull off a win in Cincinnati, 3-1 lead going to the third. They fall apart. You know, Jaguar held them in as long as he could, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mark, you go to many games, many Flames games?
Yeah.
What's your you've been a season ticket holder since day one?
Start, yeah.
So, I mean, last year we made take a trip to the Calder Cup final, almost pull, you know, the miracle off, and then now all of a sudden this team, Rick Vive came in, and everybody thought this was going to be a guy, good coach, good hockey man. What's wrong with this team in your eyes?
Like a lot of them, I thought it was going to turn around too with Rick Vive, but the read I get from people sitting beside me every night at the game is that there's no support from up above. Calgary's just in a mess, quite frankly.
Sure.
I mean, if the top team isn't doing well, then there's not much left for the developmental team. I don't know how they're going to pull it around. I just don't see that there's a mandate with Calgary to improve the St. John Flames.
It'll be interesting to see. What do you guys think about the Flames?
Well, I think we have a better record, and I think we could beat them any time.
You think so? Is that the challenge? The challenge that's been put out?
Yeah.
All right, you handle Thompson on your own. What do you think, Colin? What do you think about the team?
Well, we're not doing too good this year because Calgary has some of the good players up there, and they don't care how we do. They just want to do good.
Okay. All right, let's get a little nostalgic here, and we'll pass the tissues around if necessary. I know it won't be necessary for you, Bruce, because we're talking about the Leafs. But MLG bids fond farewell. All the fans and the alumni on hand Saturday night. You had a chance to watch it. And I guess the big story locally coming out of this whole thing at Maple Leaf Gardens over the weekend was Rick Vive was not in attendance. Now, you go down, you look at the numbers that Rick put up when he played for the Leafs. First guy to score 50 goals, youngest captain, scored 50 goals, 3 seasons in a row. I don't understand. Like, I mean, I understand the politics of it. That they said, you know, Rick has a team to coach now, being the St. John Flames, of course, but I think it would have been all right for him to skip a night. Billy Waters said in the article in the newspaper that it's no big deal. This captain's parade, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know why it's a big deal. Rick Vive should have had a plane ticket in the mail and an invitation to go to that. I mean, that's a big ceremony, and that captain's parade looked pretty big to me.
Well, I agree. I mean, look back a couple of years when the Forum was closed down and the Habs had all their former greats come out. I mean, it looked to me like everyone was there for that. I mean, arrangements could have been made to bring Rick Vive in. I'm sorry, I'm not a Leaf fan, but you look back and however many players they brought out there, I didn't recognize too many of them, to be honest about it.
Few names.
Yeah.
Jog the memory banks, but
you know.
Daryl Sittler, of course, being a big one. Laney McDonald was a huge one. Frank Mahovlich, of course. He's
Tiger
played for the Habs. Tiger Williams, great to see Tiger. Tiger getting very sentimental.
He high-sticked the guy coming onto the ice, so.
Did you get a chance to see the ceremony, Mark? What did you think?
I watched it. Oh, we thought it was great. It's too bad we didn't see Rick Vive, but I think he missed the boat there because PEI was represented. He saw Earl Thompson coming out, so I'm sure that folks on the island were happy to see that.
So what does this mean to you guys? I mean, when you were watching the game with your dad last night, Colin, I mean, was obviously there's not a lot of memories for that building. What team do you root for in the NHL?
The Flyers.
You like the Flyers?
The Rangers.
Okay. So when you were watching it with your dad, it was just another hockey game, and these were some old guys coming out in the ice? Is that what it was to you, or?
No, not really.
No? Did you recognize any of the names?
Just when my grandfather talked about some of them.
Who's that?
Colin Rosborough.
Yeah? Okay. And Jamie, I know you're a Montreal fan, so that's why I sat you over here next to me, because I like all the Habs fans close. Did you see it last night?
No.
Not any of it? No. Okay. Well, we won't drill you about that then. Bruce, what's going on in high school hockey this past week?
Well, another busy week this week, Jim. We had Rossi High School had a good week this week with a tie against Rossi Collegiate School and a win over Harborview this week. And a big game on Saturday afternoon at Harbor Station. St. Max beat Edmonton 4-3 in a good game with about 50 fans there. It looked quite empty over there.
I bet you it did.
But good hockey game, 4 penalties called, good goaltending, good skating. Way high school hockey should be played.
Fantastic. A strange but true story comes out of the world of sports and the world of entertainment this week, so we have to talk about this because I thought it was I thought it was a joke when I first saw it, but I thought it was quite funny now that I think about it. Garth Brooks, a huge country superstar, has been invited to spring training with the San Diego Padres. Now, he played in one game with them last year, an exhibition game. Just had a little bit of fun, was goofing around, I guess, on the field, but he's pretty serious about this thing.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
Well, I heard the rumors where he's got the left field job for the Expos, but maybe that's Orlando Merceds, I'm not sure. However, with San Diego, 3 years ago they did this as well. They get rid of their whole team, went down to the bare nothing. They had a great team last year. Once again, they dumped everybody for nothing, basically. And this is obviously just something to draw some fans out, obviously.
What do you think about this, Mark? Is this a joke, or?
Well, I think the last celebrity to get invited was Michael Jordan, and I just don't see Garth Brooks in the same physical shape as Michael Jordan. So.
Yeah. Sure. What do you guys think about that? Pretty silly?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He should just stick with his singing career.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend keeps saying, too. What do you think, Colin?
I don't know. I don't even like Garth Brooks.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't get into that with you.
I actually think he should have tried out for the Nashville Predators. He would have been closer to home.
There you go. Yeah, he would have been right in there. But
probably can't skate, though.
Probably one of the stipulations in the contract are going to be he has to sing the national anthem for every home game.
There you go. 81 times.
I can hear the call from Vin Scully now going, bat, 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 Baton Rouge. That ball's out of here. Yeah, it should be interesting. Anyway, what do we got? The playoffs I know are coming up shortly in high school hockey. How are things looking for the matchups? We got some good ones there?
Yeah, in our Southern Conference right now, we've got 1 week to go on the schedule, and then we have the playoffs start next week. Hampton's going to be crossing over to play against, looks like Minnow right now in the first round. St. Stephen and Fundy are fighting for first place in the Thompson division. They'll be playing, one of those two will be playing Harborview and the other one Rothsay High School. It looks right now like it's going to be St. Andrews against Rothsay Collegiate School. So I think we're going to see some good series in all four of those.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
Mark, let's just talk about something very briefly. It's a bit of a serious matter, and the jerseys, the back of the jerseys, I know that the kids haven't got them yet, but 14,000 minor hockey jerseys will be blazed with them. The stop signs to keep people from hitting behind. You've been coaching for a while now. At this level, do you see any real vicious hits from behind?
Yeah, oh indeed. And they're not intentional by any means, but this is a level where you have to start it. And I think it's a great program. We haven't got it yet with KV Minor Hockey, but my understanding is that it's coming with the new jerseys and everything next year.
Looking forward
There's
to
no question that you see it. The kids are excited. They're in the corner. The young fella's going into the corner, first of all, to get the puck with his head down, which we try to coach, and never go in there with your head down. You got to be looking around.
Sure.
But yeah, we've seen it a couple times this year, and thankfully there hasn't been any major injuries, but it's definitely a program that we've got to hit hard.
Yeah, I think it's a real good idea. What do you guys think about that?
Well, yeah, we should start.
Just to keep everybody from getting hurt?
Yeah.
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 About the same, Colin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've gotten hit from behind.
Have
Yeah,
you?
I got hit from behind in one game, and I had to sit out for 2 periods.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, it'll make your jerseys look pretty sharp, too.
Yeah.
They're going to do this at the high school hockey level, I take it, too, Bruce, or has there been any
There
indication?
hasn't been any talk about it at this point, although it's something we'd certainly like to see as well. I mean, that's one of the infractions the referees have to enforce. I mean, in all honesty, you see a fight break out in the hockey game, it's no big deal in my mind. I mean, there's so much equipment on anyhow. We penalize the guys for fighting too, but the infractions you like to see stopped are the checking from behind, the high sticks, the slashes, and that type of thing, really. So we're all for it.
Well, listen, we're just about out of time, and I thank you guys all very much for coming in. Mark, Colin, Jamie, any predictions on the NHL season? Who's going to win the Stanley Cup? It's okay, you can say Montreal. Nobody will touch you when you're with me.
Canadiens.
All right, attaboy. What do you think, Colin?
I don't know, Ottawa Senators?
Ottawa? Hey, good pick. What do you think, Mark?
Ottawa all the way.
Ottawa, going with the Senators. A couple of Senators fans, and
I'll stick with what I did before the season, Philadelphia.
Huh?
Oh, that's right, too. You did
I
pick
did,
players.
too. Yeah. I'm a Habs fan,
we'll
but
stick
they're
with
not
our
going to
Habs. Guys, thank you very much for coming in. We wish you all the best for the rest of the year, too. And don't forget, when you win that trophy, make sure you bring it back, okay?
Okay, it'll be
All
sitting right
thanks,
there.
guys. All right, we got some basketball coming up in our second half of the show. The Dave McPherson 16th annual basketball game was held at St. John High School this past week, and we've got a ton of stuff to show you from it, so don't go far.
Tudor, T-U-D-O-R. That's Henry's decree.
Not all batteries are created equal. They may look alike.
Shift, Tuesdays at 9 and again Saturday at 6 on Channel 10 TVNB. Brought to you in part by UAP Napa. It's not Carnegie Hall or the Apollo, but then again, who would want it to be? One large entertainment serving of music, comedy, and down-home laughter. Friday nights at 11 on Channel 10 TVNB.
Here we go. You can't do this, Jacques. It's never been done before.
Mr. Blake.
You can't see down with that thing.
Mr. Blake.
Jacques. What?
They're coming.
Hold them up. Find something. Jacques, I'm telling you for the last time.
Are the Canadians finished? His plant coming back on the ice. Come on, give us something, will you? How many stitches? Gentlemen, please.
On November 1st, 1959, Jacques Plante of the Montreal Canadiens broke with tradition.
You're a brave man, Mr. Plant, standing up to him like that.
And changed the face of hockey forever.
And welcome back into Timeout here on TVNB. Our second half is dedicated to basketball. Last week, it was the 16th annual Dave McPherson Basketball Classic at St. John High Gymnasium, which was renamed the David Ring Memorial Gymnasium. You'll see more on that in some of the highlight package that we've got for you, so kick back and enjoy. Well, the voice for St. John High School Gymnasium is where we are, and very shortly it will be renamed the David Ring Memorial Gymnasium. We're standing with his son, Colin Ring. Colin, just give me your feelings about the night in general.
Well, it's quite an honor to receive such an award on behalf of my father, and my family are really proud to endure this reward. And it's good to see a lot of people come out. And you know, Dave McPherson was a great man. My father was a great man, and it's a good time to celebrate. Sad, but it's also joy.
The only thing we keep hearing when we walk around the gymnasium tonight, Colin, is the dedication, the hours, and the effort that your father put into it. And you, of all people, would know, because when Dad wasn't home, you could usually find him at the gymnasium.
I'll tell you, St. John High was his second home. He was always here. Didn't matter what sport, whether it was my sisters through high school, myself, and even after we all left, he still put his time in, whether it be helping out, driving the kids around. You know, he put a lot of hours in. It was all volunteer work, and he loved what he did.
Dave could always be counted on to provide the little extras that made a road trip just that bit more special. He was always there to score a game, work the clock, drive a van, or announce a game with Fundy Cable. David would often come in and speak at our assemblies. As he approached the stage, the students in the auditorium would come to life with cheers of love and respect for Mr. Ring. So, David, if you can hear me now, I know that my voice is not quite as booming as yours, but your hound dogs do miss you. And Colin and Cindy, I understand that your father's favored number for his sporting events was the number 12. And your mom informed me that when you fellas were playing sports, number 12 was often a choice of yours. After tonight's game, number 12 will be retired forever at St. John High School, and I present this jersey to you.
First of all, I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. It's quite an honor to be part of my family and receive such an award as this. And it's also a great evening for Dave McPherson too. And I'm glad that this game goes on for 16 years. It's incredible. As far as my father's goes, he was quite a man. This was his second home. He was here whenever he could be. If he wasn't here, he was home, or he was at the baseball field at Memorial Field. So you could always find him one of the three places. His dedication and leadership as a son and as a daughter and as a wife was incredible. He was a role model. He was a leader. And most of all, he was a friend to a lot of people. And his encouragement and dedication to what he believed in really showed in a lot of people. He loved his community, and he really enjoyed St. John High. He enjoyed every high school. He just wanted to help out kids as best he could. And it's quite an honor to receive such an award as this. I'd like to take this time now to thank Ms. Tipper, Mr. Hughes, Malcolm Smith, and all the others who decided to give this award in memory of our father. Thanks very much.
Mike, good to see you out here. Couple of feelings, I guess, just about the whole game in itself, and Mr. Ring.
Well, thanks a lot, Jim. I think it's great. I think it's a great idea for David. I think that, you know, he was such a great family person, and his family meant so much to him. He enjoyed spending so much time with them, and I really think that other than spending time with his family, probably this is where he'd rather be more so than anywhere else, maybe with the exception of a little bunker up in the back of Memorial Field. But, you know, he was such a great person and a great friend of mine. This is a very, very deserving tribute to him.
Now, of course, a lot of people know David for his basketball and being here on the hard court, but like you mentioned, David spent a lot of long nights, cold nights over at Memorial Field, did a lot of work with the senior team. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I really can't even begin to explain to you how much help he gave us and how much work he put in. It was really, you he was a tremendous guy, and he became, over the past 5 or 6 years, a very, very good friend of mine. And I think one of the things you have to say about David is he had such a tremendous impact on so many people, you know, be it people in the coaching circles or umpiring colleagues or the volunteers with the endless hours of community work he did, and all the kids that he had such a tremendous impact. And really, he was a great guy, and he had just a very, very positive impact on me. And you know, I certainly miss him greatly, but when I think of him, you know, there's always a smile comes to my face, because that's how much of a positive influence he was on me. Is any memory I have of him is always very, very positive.
A fitting tribute to a man who put in a lot of hours and a lot of hard work at St. John High School. Bruce, I know that you had the pleasure to work with David over at the Memorial Field once in a while for the baseball games, and you can't say enough about this guy.
Yeah, he's going to be very hard to replace with the senior ball team over there. Like I say, he announced for them. He's their media man. He's completely involved. Him and Terry Hunter and Mike Skid ran things over there, so it's going to be very hard to replace someone like that.
No question, and we certainly miss him here at TVNB as well. Now, of course, there was some basketball that was being played on that night as the Saints and the Greyhounds, both on the men's and the ladies' side, went head-to-head. And, of course, these are big games for both teams because this is bragging rights in the uptown area. So we've got all the highlight packages from the girls' game and the men's game. And Terry Ferguson, I should say, was busy running around St. John High talking to everybody that would stop and say a couple of words to him. So we've got all that for you right now.
And we just completed a thrilling 60-50 basketball game in the girls' basketball game this evening. And I have Melissa Graham to my left and Krista Lovett to my immediate far left. Anyways, girls, it was a fantastic game. You won by 10, and you both are seniors in grade 12. And it's your final game here on your home turf, not in your own gym, but in St. John. How does it feel to play in such an emotional game with the crowd and the fans on your side?
Nothing can really describe it, I guess. I mean, they're awesome. They're perfect. That's probably the reason why we won. And besides, I find that everyone was pretty much on their game tonight. And we just came ahead at the start, and we kept it up the whole way through, and it's because of them.
You came off a successful weekend out at the Riverboat Classic tournament and won that. And then you were up at 10 points at halftime, and you ended up winning by 10. What did your coach say to you at halftime?
He just told us, he just kind of got mad at us a little. Like, he told us to keep it up and all, but he wanted us to play strong defense like as we were, and he just wanted to keep it up and just play like we play like with our hearts out and stuff like that. Just play as good as we can.
Krista, what we have here is your final game. I'm sure it's very emotional for you. It's not coming to an end yet. You still have the regionals to look forward to, but how did you find your team performed as a team tonight?
Oh, we played really, really well tonight. I have to say, Stephanie Wood, as always, takes the team on her back, and she played really well tonight. And we played as a team, which on the weekend we played as a team, but earlier in our season we didn't. And now that we're playing as a team, we're winning, and it's really good that way.
Bill Reed's with me now. Bill, what a fantastic finish to the game. They got it within 6 at one moment. You're up 10 and a half, and you ended up still winning by 10. How does it feel to play in such an important game tonight? And of course, you're going to the regionals, but it must feel really good for your team today.
Yes, this game sort of buttresses the tournament that we just came off of in the Riverboat Classic, and we won the Riverboat Classic. And the kids played a tough game here tonight, and they also won this game. And this just sort of spearheads us into the regionals this weekend. Quite excited about the whole thing.
Tom King with me here now. Tom, what a night. 22-point win. We had, great ceremonies for two fine Daves tonight. The night of 2 days, Dave Ring and, of course, the Dave McPherson Memorial Game, the 16th annual. What did it mean to you and your kids to come out victorious tonight?
Well, this event always is the highlight of the year. It doesn't really make any difference what the records are all year long. This seems to be the highlight because you get so much fan support in both sides. We're cheering all as much as they possibly could for their respective teams. And to add Dave Ring, tribute to him tonight, I think that was a great touch, great touch. The McPherson Memorial, obviously, he went to St. John High as a coach, but he went to St. Malachy's as a student, and that is probably one of the most finest events you can be involved in. I noticed Doug Jamin was down tonight, and our son Mike King was down tonight.
Yes.
And that they come down here just to see, be part of it again, because it's probably the highlight of one's career in high school.
Definitely. Tom, just I want to make mention of the people and the kids in the crowd and all that. I mean, it was packed house and it was loud. But I mean, I looked over at St. John High School and they had their SJHS down their arms and down their face, and the whole side over here was red and white. And what does it mean to have the support of a whole school behind your team?
Well, that's, to the kids and to us as a coaching staff, it means a lot, because without their support, you don't have the same hype that you would normally in a regular ball game when you see about 2 parents sitting in the stands. But here, it's just everybody loves it.
It's great.
A great basketball game on both sides. Thank you to Terry Ferguson, to Mike Skid, and to everybody else who dropped by for the 16th annual Dave McPherson Memorial Basketball Game held at St. John High Gymnasium, which of course is now renamed the Dave Ring Memorial Gymnasium. Thank you to both teams, and congratulations to both the Lady Saints and the Men's Saints. They've got the bragging rights for the Uptown until next year at least. A great basketball game. Bruce, I want to thank you for dropping by again this week.
Thank you, Jim.
We appreciate it, and thank you to Jamie Roberts and Mark and Colin for dropping by as well, playing for the KV Kings and the KV Minor Hockey Association. The boys are 16-4, getting ready to make the run for the playoffs, so we wish them all the best, and when they win the trophy, we're going to bring it back. It'll look good sitting here, don't you think?
Well, we won't have a leaf in here with the trophy, so we might as well then in, right?
And we definitely won't have a half this year with the trophy either.
Right.
Thank you very much for tuning in. We really hope you had a good time, and we hope to see you again next Monday at 6 o'clock.